What's up, guys? Welcome to the SoundCentric podcast. I'm Samuel Sarfo.
I'm Adam Dash.
Today we're with Joey, aka you may know him as Joey Hip Hop, a huge music content creator, literally everywhere, especially on Twitter. He's done such a great job of creating his platform, and Adam, we're so happy. You know the drill already. What's your playlist and leading single?
Okay, my playlist title for this week. Oh no, I lost on my Google Docs. Oh, here it is. Brittany Carter, one of the best MCs out right now. She just dropped single after single with a music video and released it as a 3-pack, which marketing-wise, big fan of that. Yachty did that with the recipe and the rest of the songs he dropped. Like each single added up to another bigger album. So her song "Open Arms" is so fire. Like this girl, she has that voice like JID, where it's like the high pitch, great bars. I can't recommend it enough. But Sam, how we feeling? Who we shouting out this week?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say I've been tired, man. I've been moving a lot. So the leading single is gonna be "The Lazy Song" by Bruno Mars, and the playlist title is gonna be just "Work." Shout out to Rihanna. It's just been work, work, work. It's been crazy. We didn't give Joey a heads up beforehand, so we're gonna put him on the spot a little bit. What we do for the playlist title, leading single, basically pick a playlist title name and a single to sum up your week. So Joey, the floor is yours.
Playlist title name, gotta say like keep going. You know, you have those weeks where it's just trying to get through one day at a time, and you know you don't know what's coming around the next corner. But yeah, so the lead single I would say for this for keep going would be "Glow Stick" by Quajo. And I don't know if you've heard Quajo before, but he's super fire. I loved his track "Inside Out" that went like, you know, semi viral. It's doing really well on Spotify, and yeah, Quajo's fire from the DMV. I love that guy. So
yes, sir.
Well, before we get into the big conversation of the day, which is, I can't believe it's actually the end of the year and we're already doing our yearly thing. I feel like me and Sam just went through our what's the best album halfway through 2023. But I want to talk about your platform first, because you've built an incredible platform based off mostly positivity, which I love about the music you love. And I'm just curious if you can, because we're people trying to build our brand. There's a lot of people watching who love hip hop, love talking and sharing their opinion. How did you really build up your following? What do you think worked for you? And like, what does your platform mean to you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I built it up during quarantine, so there wasn't much to do, you know, on the weekends and after work. I'd literally just like sit there and just like write things, whether it was like album reviews, whether it was, you know, just, it sounds stupid, but like thought pieces, like almost mini like articles, and fitting that into a Twitter post. Threads, like you could only do a certain number of characters at the time, because now there's, you know, it's been extended, but before you can only do, you know, a short post. So Twitter threads were big, and like making a thread on like MF Doom when he passed away, and like talking about like what he meant to the community. So things like that I find really enjoyable, because it's almost like taking a platform built for discussion but hasn't always been utilized like that to that extent within the music community. There's a lot of like, it's a lot of like memes, there's a lot of sharing videos, which is all great, but I saw the opportunity to post more long form. And also, as you said, the positivity thing, like I haven't always been good about that. You know, sometimes I'll be like, I'll shit on something and be like, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that. But yeah, for the most part, I think just being positive and uplifting artists is important. And if you show love to artists, they'll show love back to you. And so just finding a bunch of artists that I just really enjoy their music, and, you know, talking about them, interacting with them, and having them like see me support them means a lot to them. So then they'll like start following me, and we'll message in the DMs. Like I've met a lot of them at this point. So it's kind of like this feedback loop of positivity where, like, you know, you create a community by, you know, by being positive and by like, I don't know, sticking behind what you believe in, and then people will kind of follow suit and do the same. So it's been a big blessing. And as far as advice, like the one thing I would just say is just like be yourself, find out the type of post you like to make, and then correlate that to like what type of posts work with the algorithm. So like not just posting what you think will get likes, or not just posting what's popular, like literally just find your slot within the niche. So
Yeah, that's similar to a conversation about music that I saw Rick Rubin talk about
Mm,
how you should make music for yourself and not the audience. I think it's the same
yeah.
thing for community building and it comes to tweeting. For example, of being almost negative, I'm not a huge fan of this new like Detroit style of rapping.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I've had tweets loaded up about like not enjoying it. That I'm like, who cares if I don't like it? Like, why am I going to talk about that when I can just talk
Yeah.
about what I do enjoy? It's like I'm not going to get that
Yeah.
many likes from that. But yeah, really, you have built such a great community, and Twitter is or X, it's the best app. I love it because I
Yeah.
mean, Instagram, the comment section is not community based where people aren't like really replying to each other.
Mm.
They're usually just replying to that top post. But and hip hop Twitter sure has its bad sides. It's a lot of people that don't have an actual
Yeah.
face in their Avi and they're posting a lot of stuff. But to the people who actually are genuinely having conversations, I think it's so awesome. Like I'm on Twitter
Yeah.
all day and I love it.
Yeah. 100%.
I wanna ask you two this. Do you guys think X has gotten better post Elon, or was it better pre Elon? And in terms of what you're saying, Adam, too, that obviously there's a dark side to any type of niche on Twitter, but I feel like that's just because anyone can get a check mark now, anyone can get the benefits. So you have somebody who
Yeah.
doesn't really know anything about their topic or field spewing opinions and takes, which are whack. But what do you guys think?
I'll let Joey take the floor first.
It's tough because there are benefits to what Elon has done. Like the blue check process before was not great. Like you had to know someone to get verified, which was stupid because you would see people with like 500 followers be verified, but then someone with like 1 million couldn't get verified because they didn't know someone. But then now it's like also stupid because everyone's verified. But at least you make a little bit of money off of it now. So there's pros and cons of both. Like I don't think it's people are saying like, oh, with Elon's style, like all the conversation has gone to shit because people just post to get money. But the thing is, you have to have a following before you can even make money. Basically, like just getting a viral tweet is not going to make you very much money. So it's not like people are just like saying random shit just because. Like there definitely was that in the beginning, but I think now it's like
Yeah.
balanced itself out. More so, I'm concerned about like advertisers leaving Twitter and like the platform
Yeah, I saw
actually just
that.
dissipating at some point. So definitely, there are definitely pros and cons. It's definitely like gone worse in some areas, but I don't know. I like some of the new features. I'm kind of trying to be optimistic about it and see where it goes.
Yeah, I enjoy being able to tweet like long content now in
Yeah.
one tweet. Stuff like
Yeah.
that, or tweeting longer than 2 minute and 20-second videos, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
The biggest bad thing I noticed is that it's really cool that now you can get rewarded for having content do really well on Twitter. It's great for people who actually put effort into factual information. On the other hand, there are accounts that are blatantly made for like racist comments and
Yeah.
content, and now they're making money because they have a
Yeah.
following, whether people think it's funny or they genuinely believe in that account, what they're posting. I think it's a messed up idea that you can make money off of either not factual information. Like there's accounts that tweet fake quotes about like athletes and it's funny, but it's crazy that they're making money off of lying.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. Like if SoundCentric makes money because of our post as well, like we worked hard, but if someone's just, sometimes it's just, you're putting content out that's not even your own content.
Yeah.
And you're just like resharing it as if it's your own, making money off it. That's probably where I draw the line. I think that's a little messed up. But
It
Yeah.
is.
I agree.
to get into the fun discussion of the day, this is how we're gonna run this. It's a bunch of top 5 lists. We got coming up top 5 songs of the year, top 5 music videos of the year, top 5 album covers, top 5 verses, top 5 albums. We got our favorite bar of the year. Then we got some sport type awards. We got most improved of the year, rookie of the year, and the MVP of 2023. So we're gonna go around in a circle, kind of do our 5s, do our 4s, do our 3s. So we're gonna start with top 5 songs of the year. And I'm gonna say this was so damn challenging. I was listening to my Apple Music Wrapped while I was at the gym. I'm like, how do I not include that song? And it was just a constant cycle of doing that. But for me, coming in at number 5, I got Dracula by Kenny Mason. I love Kenny Mason when he raps over these dark beats, but I love him even more when he's rapping over some of these like soulful boom bap beats that Coop, I think his name is producer is, and he just dropped a new EP a couple days ago that's more dark. But these tracks like Dracula, they're so fire. But Sam, what is your number 5?
I'm gonna say a heads up. Take my rankings with a grain of salt because I'm so inconsistent, and it really just depends on my mood and my weather and the weather. But I'm gonna say my fifth slot is gonna go to, and this is tough. I'm gonna go 97 Benz, Doja Cat. And a lot of people were disappointed when Doja dropped the album Scarlet. Let me tell you, and I understand like the kind of jarring effects of the hip hop and pop slapping together, and you're not sure where she's going with this. After giving it some time, it's one of
Mm.
the best projects I think this year, and even for hip hop. She killed it mixing the old style R&B and hip hop. And 97 Benz, I mean, if you're a hip hop fan, you gotta love that. That beat is one of the best beats so far. Actually, of 2023 as a whole. So yeah, 97 Benz, Doja Cat. What about you, Joey?
That's
Okay.
fair. I need to re-listen because I was just really underwhelmed the first listen, and I think
Same.
I might have listened one more time, but I haven't gone back to it since.
That's
So
fine. Just listen to 97 Benz, and that's all that matters.
I'll take your word for it. My number 5 is Toronto 2014 by Daniel Caesar. Just been spinning the Daniel Caesar album
Great
nonstop.
album.
I'll talk about it later at some point, but
Yeah.
Toronto 2014 probably my favorite off that.
Nice.
Okay, my number 4. Sadly, this album just couldn't make it, but this song, a lot of emotions went into it, but Smoke Breakdance by Mick Jenkins featuring
Mm,
JID. As someone who has rapped over stoic beats since I was in high school, it was so cool seeing him get that huge add to the song by producing. It's amazing. JID has never not delivered on a feature. The Mick Jenkins album in all is fire, but this is my favorite song from it, and it's just too good. I had to include it.
Love that one. Great track. Want to bounce off Joey too. Daniel Caesar, that album he dropped, one of the best of the year as well.
Fire.
Completely forgot about that one too, and it's almost like a comeback album in a sense as well. Because I know the whole controversy and
yeah,
whatnot, but he did so well this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 for me will be $20 by Boy Genius, which is the second track from the project. Technically the intro, but there's like a more traditional intro on the album. And
Yeah.
Boy Genius, they've been nominated for a bunch of Grammys, which I knew they would. Those 3 girls are so talented, and Phoebe Bridgers is one of my favorite as well, especially when she dropped Punisher. That was a wrap for me. But I'm gonna go $20, Boy Genius.
nice. I got a singer-songwriter song coming up in a couple,
Oh,
but yeah,
nice,
shout
nice,
out Boy
nice. That's good.
Genius. Um, yes, sir. So my number 4, I got Gift Bag by Red Veil. Red Veil is one of like my favorite artists, and
So fire.
every time he drops, just whatever it is, something's gonna be in my top 10 of the year, whether it's song, album, whatever. He's just one of my faves.
Yeah, I saw him in Columbus this year. I'm not sure if it was that song, but he dropped the song on his birthday, and that was like the day of the Columbus show. So he had performed that song. It was a great show. And shout out
Nice,
Femdot, who's
nice.
also there. My number 3 song. I'm gonna talk way more about this album. A lot of my choices, music's all based about experience. And if you have a
Mhm.
good experience and you're listening to a song, like it just sticks with you in such a more positive light. So I
Yeah,
went on a trip after graduation, and a lot of this music that I listened to was like the highlight of that trip. So my number 3 was "Let's Talk About It" by K Tremine featuring Freddie Gibbs. I
nice.
was between that and Rebuke off that album, but I knew for this list we can only pick one artist for that 5 to keep in mind. So that there could have been more songs from that album on here, but Freddie Gibbs has also never missed on a feature in his life. This beat by K Tronada is amazing, and Amine did his thing. It's hard to compete against Freddie Gibbs. It's like competing against JID. Like there's not much you can do, but if you can keep up with them, you got a great song. Sam, number
Yeah.
3.
I'm happy you mentioned Kaytranada and Amine because I do feel like the album went under the radar. I know how much we were gassing it up, and it did come out, and I just didn't see as many people talking about it. Not sure if it was just a streaming thing or people actually didn't like it, but it was a great album. For me, number 3 is going to be A and W by Lana Del Rey. Adam, I know you're not the biggest Lana Del Rey fan, but you need to get on the
Don't know the
train
song, but
because
it's true.
great song, amazing beat switch at the end. I think it's one of Lana's best projects too, and the fact that she continues to drop incredible albums each year. Again, as an artist, the most important thing is being able to grow, the longevity, evolving. Right? We talk about that all the time. So shout out to Lana, A&W, Lana Del Rey, number 3.
People love
That's
her.
it. What's up?
I just said people love Lana Del Rey. Like when they're a fan of her, they're a stan of her. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not even a huge Lana fan, but NFR and then this album I thought was amazing. So shout out
Yep.
A&W, shout out Lana. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this new one. Um, so number 3, I got American Made by Ransom. Um, I've
he's so
been
good.
really loving the Ransom Nicholas Craven collabs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when they first dropped, like Director's Cut 1, 2, and then I think 3, they were either all in the same year or like within a year and a half of each other. And yeah, those have been some of my favorite projects of the decade. And I love this little EP that he dropped, Deleted Scenes 2, American Made is, fire track.
Ransom's one of those rappers that every line is so clever where he doesn't run out. You're just like, how do you keep going? And how do you keep doing this? He is so damn good.
It's not a lot of rappers these days where it's like every line could mean like could be a double entendre. Like you think about it later and you're like, oh wait, he meant that. Or like, oh, he's talking about this instead of that. He's crazy.
It's like he's a Lil Wayne type. It's like a year later, you're like, oh my God, that's what that meant.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 2 for me. So for a lot of my songs or my life, music videos can sometimes make me love a song even more. For example, like the Tribe music video for J. Cole Boz, like the vibe of it made me love the song so much, which has made it one of my favorite songs ever. So for my number 2, it's Palisades, California, Larry June featuring Big Sean. It's so good that I had to make my own song over this beat, and I made a music video for it early in the year because the beat is so damn good. Shout out Alchemist. Larry June talking about CMOS and positivity and getting their finances in check. And Big Sean. Big Sean and he also had a great verse on the K Tremine album, but Big Sean and Alchemist make an album, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did his thing.
Great pick. Great album. Shout out to Big Sean. If you know me, Big Sean was like one of my favorite rappers at one point, like in middle school. I still remember when he dropped, what was it, Guap? He dropped Swerve, he dropped Guap. Guap was my song. Shout out to Big Sean. For number 2, I'm going to go Dominic Fike, How Much Is Weed? Dominic Fike is one of my favorite artists as well. Honestly, all time, low key. And he dropped Sunburn this year. And obviously, if you know his history, I know people like to call artists industry plants and whatnot, like, shut up. But the whole point is he went through a whole lot. When he got his record deal, he was in jail. And he went through a whole lot of family issues, personal issues, things like that. And the song kind of goes over that a little bit in a kind of low key, in a subtle way. How much is weed, right? How much is it to risk your life to do these things? And it's one of my favorite songs of the year for sure. How Much Is Weed, Dominic Fike.
I really liked Mona Lisa on that album too. That was a great one.
But that's such an easy song. That's the issue. It's like, it's a Spider-Man song. Everyone's going to love it. Yeah.
I'm just giving Dominic Fike a little up. I see Dominic.
All right. So for my number 2, kind of a curveball, but Glue Song by Biba Doobie. Have you guys heard this?
I have not.
No.
I have to check this out.
It's so good. It's just like a soft little song with, like I obviously don't have like a good ability to describe singer-songwriter songs, but it's a great love song. There's a remix with Claro on it, and I love Claro. But yeah, one of my most listened to songs of the year.
What was the name of the artist again?
It's great. It's Biba Doobie. I think it's BEABADOOB. It's like literally
all one.
Yeah.
I see it. I'll check it out.
She's blowing up though. She's great.
That's awesome.
Okay, our number 1 choice. This was the easiest choice probably of my entire list. My list could have been full of this artist, and I'm talking about him a lot more. But ever since I went to see J.I.D. and Smino in Cincinnati, Jordan Ward has completely taken over my year. The best song by far for me this year is Fam Jam 4000. Hearing at the concert, I immediately looked it up on my phone, and I type a song where you text it to all your friends, and every single person's like, I see you. They don't always like my music taste, but that song, they enjoyed that one. And I could have filled this top 5 list with songs just from more Ward, but Fam Jam 4000, that's the one for me.
Nice. Great pick.
And Jordan Ward is the guy. And Loki, you might see him a little bit later for me, but my number 1 song is going to be Figure 8 by Paramore. Paramore is one of my favorite bands of all time. I got to saw them live as well for their tour, This Is Why, and their album, This Is Why. That song makes me want to like jump off the roof, and I feel like I can just run through a brick wall. Like that song makes me go crazy. And there's a few songs that make me go crazy. But shout out to Paramore, great year. The fact that, again, I talk about longevity and evolution all the time, and they've been present since the early 2000s. They're still here and they're getting nominated for albums, and it's just the 3 of them now. So shout out to Paramore, Figure 8.
Shout out Paramore. I love that album.
Kelly Williams, the GOAT.
Yeah. So my number 1, also Jordan Ward, White Crocs. White Crocs it's just like an earworm, just always on repeat in my head. And
taste. These girls got expensive.
Yeah, just like that. He sings it just like that. But yeah, amazing song.
Seeing Tyler shout out that song That's one of those moments where I felt like I won, even though I don't know Jordan personally in any single way. But I was like, yes, Tyler sees it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Tyler shut out Redville a few years ago with "Wait" was the song, right?
Drown.
And "Drown," yeah.
Yeah,
So that was sick.
yeah.
So there,
It's
my
crazy.
top
I was
5
just gonna
songs of the
say
year.
about Jordan Ward. It's almost like it's a universal thing now. Like everybody loves this guy. It's not like it was a small album. The album was huge. So I'm so surprised it
Yeah,
didn't get like any Grammy noms like you said earlier. You were surprised. Now I'm
I
kind of
thought it would.
surprised.
I think it's just a publicity thing. I think your average person probably doesn't know who he is still,
Yeah,
Hmm.
but the people that know him like love him.
Yeah, he's had a big year.
I
I mean,
see him
doing
all
interviews
over
with
hip hop Twitter.
Billboard and Twitter. He's like everywhere. And you said Tyler, give him a shout out. He is having a great year. Shout out to Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out Jordan.
Tyler was really just preaching that he's like, this guy has so many views off of organically releasing this song, and he was like speaking right to Jordan. He's like, do not change what you're doing to get popular. Like, you are making the great music. Which if Tyler the Creator says that to you, you keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
But to get into our next top 5 list, might be quicker for this one if we just go do all of our top 5. So top 5 music videos of the year. This was a hard one for me because there's honestly was a lot of good videos that came out this year. But number 5 for me, I got Sorry Not Sorry, Tyler the Creator, when he had all the different versions of Tyler in the different eras and has himself beating up the Call Me If You Get Lost era at the end. It's a sick video. He's like moving in slow motion, but it matches up with his lips. That video is awesome. 4, I already talked about it. Palisades, California. It's just so cool. I don't get how any of these editors make these videos. There should be an award. There probably is an award for it. Number 3, I know this probably Sam's number 1. First person shooter. It's so cool. It's my goat. They're playing ping pong. They're being Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, the second half of the song ruins it for me. I don't care about Drake rapping about these girls, but the video is funny. There's like, he turns into a wolf and there's dogs. Yeah, just who, as Sean C said, who are these people? I don't know who you're talking about. Number 2, Gorilla by Little Sims is such a sick video, and the song's amazing. And number 1, I'm not sure. I don't think you knew this one, Sam, when I brought it up before, but it's all over my TikTok. It's how I found the song, and it became one of my favorite of the year. Back on 74 by Jungle. The whole video, if you've seen it, if you haven't, definitely check it out after this. It's all dancers. It's not like a cool editing video. The choreography, I know nothing about choreography. It is so cool that it made my number 1 list. So I think for viewers who know the song, you get why it's number 1. For people who don't know, go watch it and you'll see why it's on the list. But Sam, top 5.
I'm jealous you put Gorilla by Lil Sims. That would be my top 5.
Such a cool video.
It's such a great video. For me, I'm gonna say number 5 is gonna be What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish. Huge song this year, especially with the Barbie movie. Symbolic, touchy, all that good stuff. Number 4, I'm gonna say this is tough. I'm gonna go Houdini, Dua Lipa. I'm happy to see her back. She's kind of sticking with the kind of sound she has, but again, she's evolving. I love the choreography, the dancing. She's stepping it up a little bit, doing more things. I love to see that. Number 3, I'm gonna go All American by Olivia Rodrigo. I love the raw performance of that music video and like the live band behind her. I love that. Number 2, Running Out of Time, Paramore. Fun video. If you haven't seen it already, the costume designs and everything, go check that out. Especially you, Adam. I feel like you haven't seen it, so go do that. And number 1, of course, I watched it. Listen, in 2023, there's no way you're gonna get me to watch a music video more than once. First person shooter, I watched it like 3 or 4 times. It was just that funny, that goofy. Seeing Drake doing a 360, Michael Jackson beat it. 10 out of 10. So first person shooter, number 1.
Great picks. I'm not the type of person to watch a lot of music videos. So like Paramore, Olivia Rodrigo, like I loved their albums, like listened to a bunch, but I haven't really seen much of their videos. So I definitely need to check those out.
It's tough because I don't know. I don't want to say music videos are declining or anything. People are still putting in the work. But I also feel like they may not be as important as they used to be. For me, it's almost kind of traditional. Like if you're my favorite artist, I'm going to see what videos you have because that expands your art, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's as important anymore. Am I wrong?
I enjoy. I mean, it's now anyone can make a really high definition video. There's a lot of editing tools you can get for like $10 in the App Store. And I don't know, when you see a really cool video, like I said before, it could really make you connect with the song more, especially if like the colors are right and it fits the song so well. I think sometimes it can really lift the song. But yeah, it's oversaturated because everyone can make a really good music video now.
Yeah,
So it's kind of hard to stand out as much.
it
Yeah.
is.
We also don't have like MTV or like
Yeah,
growing up,
that's the
you would go
thing.
bowling, or I would go bowling a lot, and like
yeah, boy.
they play those music videos of the bowling. Like I feel like there are just less avenues for music videos to be played and seen. It's now just like you go on your laptop and
Yeah,
go on YouTube.
that's a great point.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me died when MTV went away. Like every once a year, I just think, man, MTV, man, what a time to be alive. I remember being a kid and
Yeah.
sneaking it on the next channel so I could watch it because my parents wouldn't let me watch it. But MTV was so huge in promoting music videos.
For sure. And
Mhm.
one little tip is, I like for streaming, I don't know if you guys do any streaming, but what I found to be really, really fun is to like put on a music video compilation while you stream and like talk to people in the chat. And that's kind of fun because like a lot of the shit you're seeing for the first time as well as like other people, and it's just like a fun thing to do while you talk about music.
Mhm.
But yeah, so my top 5 music videos. Firstly, I'm gonna go with "Yeah Yeah" by Eam Triplin, and
He's
I just found the
fire.
video super creative. It's like different boxes like being imposed on top of each other as you like get a new frame. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just edited really well, and it's a really cool video, directed by himself too, which is cool.
Hey.
And then number 4, I also got Tyler. Sorry Not Sorry. I almost put Wharf Talk. Wharf Talk is probably my favorite off of his deluxe EP, whatever you want to call it. But the Sorry Not Sorry, I feel like is just so iconic with him
So
like
cool.
killing the other eras of himself. Like that's something that I think we're gonna see other artists do, or like try to spin it in their whatever way they want to do it. Number 3, I got Doomsday. This is for the Lyrical Lemonade album.
Sick.
Corday times Juice World. Directed by Cole Bennett. I'm not like a huge AI fan as far as creative industries go. Like I kind of want to like separate it from creatives so that we're not, losing creative production due to AI. But I thought this was a cool way to do it because it's something that was finished before Juice World passed. Like they had like talked about it before that. Juice had the idea for the video, so I thought it was done tastefully and in a cool way. Number 2, I got Riot by A$AP Rocky. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck his album is, but his music videos are still like going crazy. And then first I got First Person Shooter. I feel like it's one of the best videos of the last few years. Just iconic through and through.
There's so much stuff in it. It must have cost so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sick. A$AP Rocky is the artist GOAT of music videos. Like his discography of music videos, better than anyone's. I also want to shout out Dave and Jack Harlow's new music video with Lyrical Lemonade. Cole Bennett's the GOAT director. I don't know how he thinks of or does any of these things, but every music video, that's a person. Like if you can get the Cole Bennett video, it's such a big up for your career.
Yeah, that's what did it for Jack Harlow. What's poppin'? That was once that video came out, it was a wrap.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay. What's the next one?
Our next one, top five verses of the year. I think we should do our top 5s each again, and then for
one
the
by
albums,
one,
we can go back to like doing one at a time. We'll do this one all 5. The next one we'll go one by one. Yep.
Gotcha.
So for top 5 verses for me, this is so hard. Number 5 was JID, Mama's Prime Time on West Side Gun's album. I'm a JID stan, so this had to be there. JID, his vocal inflections just get me so much, and the way he phrases his things. And I always wake up with a line in my head, and I can't get it out. And one of them is, I hope they pay my whole fee like Lamar Jackson. And I just love that track so much. And I was so happy to finally get him on a West Side Gun album. Number 4, as I discussed before, Big Sean on Palisades, California. I played it, like when I saw that music video, I played it over and over again. Him spitting so fast over that beat after starting slow. It's sick. Number 3, Dave, Stop Giving Me Advice. I'm just getting into Dave, and I love how he's able to balance having the funniest out-of-pocket lines with also having the realest lines coming up right before it. And I will touch on a line later in this episode that he said that is hilarious and real, and that is a great verse. Number 2, he's so good. And this new album, I think I'm gonna become a stan after this new album. I'm excited for it. in my heart at number 2, I wanted to say From Cole to Summer for Summer Walker's album with J.
Mm.
Cole's verse on that. But let's be real, it's J. Cole The Recipe. That's his best verse of the year.
Mhm.
And I think Drake tried doing the whole one rhyme scheme thing on his album way too much that he just dropped. Because sometimes it can be a little much and you can change it up. But Cole, like, it's just so good on this song. And poor Yachty had to go first. And my number 1 of the year, Kenny Mason on D&D on the Paris, Texas album. It's just such a real verse. And he talks about, I wish I brought the line up, but he says how he's not a narcissist. He's so self-conscious, but he still knows his shit's better than your shit. And he talks
That's
about
nice.
how sometimes as an artist, you give so much of your personal life out that when you talk to a fan, you feel seen through. And I thought just the way he described that is so interesting because as an artist, you talk about some of the worst things that ever happened to you, and then you meet a fan and they don't know you, but like they low-key know the very important parts of you because you do share that to the world. So I really enjoyed how he expressed it on that song. And it's a great album.
I've never thought about it like that. That's actually insane when you think about it. There's strangers that just know things about you.
They know a lot.
They know a
Or
lot.
they think they know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the album is hard. The Paris, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then Adam, we had a lot of things in common for our verses.
Okay.
2 specifically. I'm gonna say number 5, Doja Cat Attention. I think that was a great song. I was happy to see Doja Cat rapping. I wish her album was just fully hip hop-ish rap, and of course you can throw in the R&B stuff, but just less of the pop. But amazing song, amazing track,
Because
amazing
she
rapping.
marketed like that.
Yeah, I know she had to, right? She's a pop star. Number 4, Dave. Stop giving me advice. Dave is the guy.
Stop
There's
giving me
nothing much I
advice.
can say. I think Dave is literally a top 5 rapper, and that includes the world, USA, UK. The guy's talented. I've been following him for a while. UK rap is staying strong, and I think right now it's in its peak. I think in a lot of conversations where people think hip hop might be in a standstill, it's UK rap that's been increasing and progressing in every way possible. Number 3, I'm going to go Motherless by Killer Mike on his project. Michael, happy to see it nominated on the Grammys. Amazing rap album, one of the best rap albums of the year. A really vulnerable track. Go listen to that. Shout out to him. Number 2, I'm going to go, I was between 2 songs, both by the same person, Travis Scott. Thank God in My Eyes. I still remember the first time I listened to Utopia, and I was like putting my clothes away, and I just noticed, man, I'm really bobbing my head to this verse on Thank God. That's crazy. He was spitting, my eyes, the beat switch afterwards. He was killing it. I want to know your thoughts too, Joey, on Utopia after we're finished here. And then number 1, obviously, the GOAT. Come on, J. Cole, The Secret Recipe. I mean, bruh, what's wrong with this guy, J. Cole? Who's got him mad like this? Because this is not, he arguably had 2 of the best verses of the year. 2 of the best verses of the year. And I also want to know, I don't know if Joey was in here for this conversation about, if people were debating between Kendrick and J. Cole, if Kendrick was more active, then he would be spitting crazy features like Cole. Or in reality, is Cole just right now a better rapper? But hey, I'll take it away, and I'll leave it to Joey to say what he thinks.
That was a great list. For me, it's the active part, right? Like, it's if Kendrick was active, but he's not. So you can't say if Kendrick was active, he'd be better. Like, Kendrick had a lot more output earlier on in his career, yes, and like it gave us some great features, but I think it's harder to do what J. Cole is doing versus taking 5 years off and then putting together like a great album after that. Like, I think Cole is like super active and will be able to produce the quality in an album form that Kendrick was able to do by just like sitting out for 5 years. I don't know. That's my personal take on it.
No, and if you do wait that long, it's like if Kendrick comes out with a feature on Friday or tonight, people will go crazy over it because it's like he hasn't been here so long. Cole's doing it like every month, and it's still making news every time because the verse is so high quality, which I think that's the hard part. Because at a certain point, if they were bad verses, it'd be like, oh, another J. Cole verse, like maybe he should slow down. But each one's like better than the last one, so Cole, keep going. 2 features tonight coming out, or 3 features on the Boz album dropping tonight. Passport Bros is already out, but 2 new ones. 2 more chances for another verse of the year.
Do you not think he's doing too much? Or is it just he's just going off and he's doing so well it doesn't even matter?
It's perfect.
It's features though, right? Like, he's doing a lot of these, like he's doing with a purpose. Like, he's homies with Boz. Like, Lil Yachty is like, it's almost like connecting 2 generations. So it's with Drake, that's like an iconic, like, you know, the big 3. So I feel like people are definitely complaining that it's like oversaturation, but he's doing features and each one like makes sense for what it is. It's not like he's like putting out a bunch of songs on his own that are just like mediocre or whatnot. Like he's doing features, so that's for me what makes it different.
I will also say, for your choice for Travis Scott, we don't know if Travis wrote those verses. Could have been Sci-Hi. Sci-Hi might have the second verse of the year for Sam.
He's the goated. For me, he's top 50. That boy Sci-Hi. He writes for a lot of rappers. If y'all don't know,
really Quentin Miller.
Other good.
Anyways, my top 5 verses of the year. This is like really hard. I think at the end of the year, I'm gonna sit down and like all of my lists might be changed because it's just so hard to like really capture everything. But these were like the top 5 that like really came to mind first. So number 5, I got Benny the Butcher on Costas.
Yeah,
fire one.
Yeah, I love that Ty Keith beat. Number 4, and Benny kills it obviously. Number 4, I got Ransom on Stab Out. That was on Conway the Machine's album, Won't He Do It? I think that verse is disgusting. Number 3, Andre 3000 on Scientists and Engineers.
Great one.
One of the most memorable verses for me of the year. Number 2, I got J. Cole, but I'm actually going to choose a different track than what you guys chose. I'm going with Adonis Interlude. And the reason is because it's one of those experience things, like you said, Adam, earlier. Like my experience listening to it when it first came out, like when watching it in the theaters, and then with like associating that with like Adonis Creed trading, and then me actually like listening to it all the time in the gym, like that. The amount of times I've listened to it and like how it's like stuck in my brain, that's just like gotta be a top 3 feature of the year to me. Or verse.
That soundtrack has a lot of low-key very good songs. I really like the West Side Boogie Kaz one.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah. I love those movies too, so it just like enhances the experience. And then number 1, I got Lil Wayne on Big Dog.
So good.
Such a good verse. Lil Wayne is like he's on the crazy feature run right now. I need that new album, man. I really want to hear what he's like putting together
on good beats, because The Fix was not a very good EP. But when he gets on these features, I made my dad watch that music video because I'm like, watch how he says dog in all these different ways. My dad, he went right back on his phone, but I tried my best to put my dad onto that.
Nice.
I got 2 things to say. One, Science and Engineers. Andre 3000, his verse in a long time. He hasn't done one in a long time. I like the verse, but I feel like people are overhyping it with the fact that it's Andre 3000, and that's my hot take. I do feel like if that was Eminem who made a verse like that, people would be like, that is the wackiest, corniest flow, whatever hip-hop Twitter would say. But I feel like it's Andre 3000, and it's like the Bible. But I don't know. What do you think, Joey?
I think the overrated part is like separate. It's like people might think he's overrated because he hasn't dropped a solo album, whatever. I think that's more like there's definitely a legit argument you can have there, and like that's a debate for another day. That being said, I do think the verse is like solid, and maybe it is just Andre 3000, and that's why it's so like memorable to me. But it was a standout on what I think is like one of the best albums of the year, personally.
Adam, am I tweaking or what? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's kind of similar to my point about the Kendrick feature run. Like, because if Kendrick comes out for the first time in 5 years, or when Hove comes out and makes a verse, it's like every single media outlet's tweeting the lines because like, whoa, Jay-Z's first feature in like 6 months. So I think there's a bit of that. Look, I think Future's verse in that was really good too. I like that
song.
Good. Yeah. And the one you picked, Sam, that's the one that he performed on like Jimmy Fallon and was like crying during it. If you know what I'm talking about, was that song you chose?
Who's this by?
Killer Mike performed one of his songs live, and he was like crying during it.
I forget the song. Yeah, I forget the song, but yeah, it might have been Mother. Maybe we'll see. I think
it was. Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, so that's a great choice.
Yeah.
But to kind of to go off this subject of best verses of the year, let's do what our favorite line of the year was. So we are about to say this in the not cool way, because there's no cool way to recite a rap line if you're not the rapper who said the line. But we will try our best right now. My favorite line of the year, did not come from my favorite verse of the year. It came from my number 3 verse. Dave said, "You ever signed a 7-figure deal on a bird's quill? Couldn't call it breakfast because it wasn't your first meal. Forgotten birthdays, but remember your verse still. You ever supermodel and it sounds like skeletons dancing." And I love it because those first 3 lines are so real and so good in the double entendre because it wasn't your first meal. And then he comes through with the funniest line ever. That's not like just like surface level. Like it's just a hilarious way to phrase having sex with a supermodel. So shout out to Dave because that song's been on repeat. Honestly, it might be my favorite mainstream hip hop song to drop in a while because that beats hard. Jack did his thing after people getting mad that he made a very poppy track. But hey, he's doing everything right. That was a great track.
This 2 skeletons has been in my head like forever since it dropped.
You can see in the music video, Jack's laughing too, like when he says it. So he's probably laughing every time he hears it.
Yeah.
Sam, what we got?
For me, it's less of a bar. I'll say it's a full verse. And it has to be J. Cole's All My Life. And specifically when he talks about how when rappers passing away, they never gave the love and the flowers beforehand, but start giving them love and flowers afterwards. And even that stanza, the whole entire verse, everything about it, the meaning, that was such an important verse and really another verse of the year. And just every bar important on that one.
Yeah, that's facts. Got a J. Cole one.
I love this.
The Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake.
I love that line.
Yeah, I think it's just a line that's just like, again, iconic. It's like 5 years later, we're gonna be like, yo, remember when 2 of the like biggest and best rappers of our generation were on a song together, and Cole mentioned the Spider-Man meme. Like, I think everyone's gonna remember that. But
I also wanted to ask Joey this too. But when you were talking about Benny the Butcher beforehand, I was going to ask you, who's your favorite Griselda member between the 3?
It's Benny.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. It's Benny. I know. Thank you. You picked right. Good man. Good man. It's Benny.
I'm a Conway man myself.
You can't go wrong, honestly, with anyone. Even like the like newer members or like the extended family, like all the Griselda members are great.
Yeah, Stove Guy can take that throne if he finally releases this album, but he is taking his time.
Yeah, too damn long.
Too damn long. Okay, let's get into the hardest choice of the year, top 5 albums of the year. So this was difficult because it wasn't the best year for all around projects. Mm-hmm. So I'll just go through my 5. Number 5, The Great Escape by Larry June and The Alchemist. Early in the year, but Porsches in Spain, Palisades, California, Earthquake, 87 Earthquake, or I think that's the title. The beats on these are so damn good. And Larry June, even though he kind of raps in the same tone in every song, it didn't get old on this album at all. And his lines he's just very original with like the finance lines and like getting healthier and this stuff. It's hilarious. Number 4, I Now Know by Asar, a man that we had on our show a couple weeks ago. And in preparation for the interview, I kept listening to the album and I'm like, oh shit, this is one of the best albums I've heard this year. Don't Date Rappers, my favorite song from it. The one with Chris Patrick is amazing. I'm trying to remember these off the top of my head. But it's a great project. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Larger Than Life, Brent Faiyaz. Me and Sam have talked about this at length. The beats on it are all amazing. It was kind of a surprise drop because he was doing singles, but like I didn't know this was coming. And Brent Faiyaz is amazing. I can't say any more words about him. The album's great. Number 2, this one we talked about earlier that had a disappointing reception because it was marketed as the album that was going to be songs all built for the summer, and the singles were very summer-like Songs Forever. Yeah. But this album really connected with me while I was on my trip after graduation. So I got number 2, Que Tronada, Amine. I love just so many tracks from it. So it had to end up at number 2. It had so many songs on my top of my rap. And number 1, it's been here since like February or March, whenever I first heard it, has not left. And Jordan Ward, thank God for you, sir. This is one of my favorite albums of the last 5 years. It could be number 1 in the last 5 years. I really love this project. I can't talk
What was your second again?
Second was Que Tronada, Que Tramine.
Would you consider that a rap album?
Yeah, it's a rap album.
Okay. I was going to say your top 3 were rap albums, but technically number 2 could
Almost,
be. But I do think it's
and Jordan's kind of rap, but he's not rap.
Mhm.
Like he raps some songs. He's kind of like Anderson .Paak, where he's mostly a
Mhm.
singer, but when he raps, it's fun.
The reason I ask, and
That
Joey,
was
I
a
can
great
hear your
list.
take too. Yeah, it's a great list.
Thank you.
And what I was gonna say was, I think 2023 was, again, I think we know this, not even a think, we know hip hop was a slow year. So at least for my list, there's not a single hip hop album on here. Adam, I mean, you had a couple, I think, but a lot of R&B was breaking through. But how do you think 2023 was for hip hop, at least, Joey?
I think it was all right, like strong in the underground, weak in the mainstream. I guess Utopia and Gunna had good albums. I don't know. I just overall felt that we were lacking a lot of those big mainstream hits that were like quality. Numbers, obviously, people are talking about how numbers are down across the board. But so yeah, when that conversation is happening of like, is hip hop dying? I think it's exclusively tied to the mainstream. But that being said, overall, I do think it was just like an okay year. Like last year
Mm-hmm.
was really really good, and I don't think enough
Mm-hmm.
people remember or realize that. And I think it's just kind of an off year because last year was so good.
That is a good emphasis. Mainstream, I'm talking about, not the underground. They're doing well, and even independent space.
Yeah.
For my top 5, I'm gonna have in 5th. Let's do Dominic Fike's Sunburn. I already explained a great album. Love Dominic Fike. Number 4 is Caroline Polachek's Desire I Want to Turn Into You. One of the best pop albums I've heard, not only this year, but in a long time. Pop was almost kind of getting in a stalemate, but a lot of cool and great artists are morphing and pushing the boundaries. Carolina's one of them. And she even collaborated with Kanye on his like Yeezus era during that time, him trying to get those synthy pop sounds. Number 2, number 3, I'm gonna say Lana. What's the album called? Did you know that there is a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Great album, love that. Number 2 is Boy Genius,
Cool
the
title.
record. Yep, it is long, right? I want to make sure I got that one right.
It's a
Number
long
2,
one.
Boy Genius, the record, and then number 1, Paramore. This Is Why. And this list was really easy for me. It wasn't hard at all. Once I heard these albums, I knew they're gonna be in my top 5 forever, and they're not changing.
Nice. That was a good list. Again, I need to like re-listen to everything because my opinion, I feel like, is always changing. The Lana
Same
album
here.
easily could have been like top 3 for me. Olivia Rodrigo, I thought, dropped a great album this year. Like
Yes,
a lot of great albums coming from like other genres.
So
Cool.
what we got in the top 5?
My top 5. Number 5, I got Baggy Weather by Toby Lou.
He's
I'm a
gassed.
big Toby Lou fan. He dropped a ton of projects in the past year. And he's been in my top 10 or top 20 every single year for the last like 2 or 3 years that he's dropped, because he just consistently is like toying with new sounds and getting really creative. Like I wouldn't classify his work as hip hop. It's not R&B. Like there are tracks where it'll just be like him singing over an acoustic guitar, and then it transitions into like a remix sort of beat. I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, Toby Lou, he's great. Number 4, Glaucoma 2 by Key Glock. I've been spinning this album over and over and over again. Shout out Key Glock, like no features on this, which is crazy. And yeah, just great lines over great production. Next I got This Is Why, Paramore. Shout out shout out Paramore. Sam knows.
I gotta listen now.
It's great. Paramore's great. Number 2, I got The Patience by Mick Jenkins.
That was number 6
for me. Almost put Smoke Break in one of my top songs. The album's great, like probably the best lyrical rap album to me personally. And then number 1, Never Enough, Daniel Caesar. Been my album of the year like almost ever since the drop, so tough to beat.
That one's like number 6 for me. That one is so close. That was a really great album by Daniel Caesar, for real. He does not get enough love. Surprised he didn't get any Grammy nominations, unless he did, and I just don't know. That's a shame. That really is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Toby Lou's fire. I think I saw him open for Kyle years ago. So I've always had a liking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he was on your list, Joey. Toby Lou.
I feel like I'm like friends with him, but not actually. Like he follows me and like will interact with me, and we've DM'd a couple times. But so I think of him as like I feel like I know him, but I obviously don't. So it's I don't know. I'm always gonna support. I always love his music. So
I've seen him in your top rankings, and you're wrapped every
Oh
year.
yeah, like literally every year he'll be in there.
Yeah.
And not just because he follows me or whatever. Like I just genuinely like love his music. So
Yeah. That's the fun part about Twitter, interacting with artists you like. I mean, the artists sometimes don't understand how much that means to the listener. It makes you feel more
yeah,
part of their journey.
100%.
To do our last list, we're going to combine these all in one, our sports kind of awards. We've got Most Improved of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and MVP. Keep in mind, people listening, these are our personal opinions. These are not objective choices. So for Most Improved of the Year, I can't, like, I'm not a huge fan of this artist, but I can't not stand here and say he hasn't improved so much. It's Lil Yachty.
Yachty for me as well.
It's incredible what he's done and how he's changed. And I don't really agree with some of his takes on hip hop. They're a little annoying, but I will say that his music for me has definitely gone way up. For Rookie of the Year, this is one of those choices. It's like Grammy Best New Artist. It's offensive because these aren't new artists. It's very rare for an artist to be in their first year of music and make amazing music. So it's not a new artist. But Jordan Ward is my Rookie of the Year because it feels like this was his coming out party for his career. And my MVP, I said, like, objectively, you can be like, oh, it's Drake. He had so many albums come out and he went number one. But for MVP, for the first time in the league since 1957, when Jim Brown won Rookie of the Year and MVP, Jordan Ward has won Rookie of the Year and MVP. Congrats, Jordan.
Those are some good picks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jordan Ward, like he could, as you said earlier, he could sweep all of these categories.
It's hard not to. Sam, who we got winning the awards?
For me, I got Most Improved Olivia Rodrigo. Like Joey said, obviously Sour was a good project, but I think she completely leveled up with this album. Her writing improved, the songs improved, the production improved, and she has now become not just a quote unquote a TikTok star or whatever. She's like a real artist who's put in the effort to improve her craft. Rookie for me is going to be Rema. Honestly, a lot of first off, Afrobeats had a great year this year. One Rema with "Calm Down," Selena Gomez, huge song. So I'm gonna give him that, and also the guy who made what's it called, like Entreaty or something. It's called. You know what I'm talking about? It's on TikTok. It's been Love and Wantiti by CK. Have you guys heard of him?
Not familiar.
I don't know.
Y'all know the song. I'm just not gonna sing it out loud like that.
Probably,
MVP. MVP is gonna be. I'm gonna say SZA. Obviously, she dropped late 2022, but I'm still gonna include her. Also, she dropped Lana, if that's not out already. A mixture between SZA, Victoria Monet. They both dominated in the Grammy nominations, and also a toss up for J. Cole, just for all the features he's been doing, absolutely killing it.
Yeah, I think Lana might. We're recording this on Thursday the 14th. It's dropping on a Wednesday, but Lana might be dropping tonight. I'm not sure, but that's gonna be amazing.
Are you sure?
I'm so curious to hear if it's like a brand new album or if it's like a deluxe. Like, I mean, kind of confusing.
Yeah, where did you get that information?
So many songs with. She tweeted all these album covers the other day, and it's just, I think I saw somewhere. I might be completely wrong. She's dropping it soon if it's not tonight. So maybe this will be very timely, and maybe it drops next Friday.
Okay.
But Joey, what do we got? Who's highlighted the list?
I wanted to say firstly that Olivia Rodrigo, a great pick for Most Improved, because I agree. Like Sour was fun, and it was like this fun kind of like arrival on the scene for her. But Guts is more mature, and I think the writing on it is a lot better. So
she's like, don't sleep on me, don't disrespect me.
Talk your shit, Olivia.
No, that was a great pick. So Most Improved, Lil Yachty. Like I think if you compare some of his older work to Let's Start Here and some of the Lucy's he's put out, I just feel like it's like night and day. He's gotten a lot better. Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna go with Ice Cold Bishop.
Oh my god!
His debut album, Generational Curse, one of my favorite albums of the year.
That should have been top 5. No.
It's definitely like top 10 for me. But yeah, and he also dropped a track with Denzel Curry this fire. I just expect to see him everywhere in the next few years. My MVP is Key Glock. As I said earlier, like releasing an album plus a deluxe that was like, I don't remember how many extra songs. I want to say it was like 8 extra songs, but almost like 2 full-length albums without features that were both fire. I love his features with like Gucci Mane, Young Nudie, Big Scar, Peasy. Like he's just and also have this year that he's had after like Young Dolph passed away. Like it's kind of like a comeback season for him, and like him proving what he can do like on his own. Like his old music is obviously good too, but like I just feel like he leveled up this year and like saw the adversity and is just like, you know what, fuck you, like I'm just gonna like ball out. So shout out Kigla.
I gotta say, we had some pretty good lists today, if I don't say so myself. Just to reiterate, MVPs, we got Jordan Ward for me, Sam, SZA, Joey, Key Glock. And if you want to argue us, argue against a wall. Those are our picks. Yeah, live with it.
But that's all we had for this episode. Anything else I'm missing out on, Adam? Anything you want to add on to it?
Nah, I mean, Joey, you can plug yourself right now where they can find you on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever.
I'm on Twitter under Gotham Hip Hop. I got suspended, so I had to change my name. I put Gotham in there just because it's like whatever. Batman fan. I'm on TikTok under Joey Hip Hop, no underscores or spaces or anything. And then Instagram, I think I'm Joey _ Hip Hop. I can't remember what exactly.
We'll have the right tag come up on the episode.
Thank you. But yeah, check me out. DM me if you want to chat music. Like always open to discussion and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for having me on. I had a blast.
Of course.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Guys, hopefully stay to the very end. A lot of good picks. Let us know what you like, what you hated, and share in the comments below. But we'll see you in the next one. See ya.